And Big Al says, what if the Falcons, maybe it means what if the Falcons take Jordan Addison? And then we'll get back into, we talked about the Texans. Then we'll move on to number 3 in the Cardinals after this. But what if the Falcons take Jordan Addison? What are your thoughts on that pick? Wide receiver out of USC.
I think he's a solid wide receiver, a wide receiver 2 in this class. Really good at getting separation. I think he's your Calvin Ridley kind of mold. Wouldn't say dynamic athlete in any sort of way, but if you get open, then you don't have to be, the height, weight, speed freak guy. We've seen that over the last few seasons. However, with how the Falcons are building this team, I think they're looking for height, weight, speed. They're trying to build a basketball team out there that can beat the absolute hell out of these players. And one of the reasons the Falcons have been so good in the run game is because when the run does get out to the perimeter, those wide receivers are burying people. The tight ends are out there occupying cornerbacks and safeties. So I don't know about Addison. If you trade down into the 15 to 24 range and he's there, that's fine. You think he's going to go higher?
Keep going.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's this class though. I think that's about where he's going to, that's where I would evaluate him. I don't think he's the top 10 type of wide receiver. I think he's a very good wide receiver 2 kind of guy. But that's just where I personally see him. All these wide receivers have flaws. You wish that there was a Marvin Harrison Jr. in this class, but we'll see. The other one here, that first round talent, but gonna have to do the background check on, is Keyshawn Boutte from LSU, who got kicked out of the program for a sex scandal party thing that they had before the SEC championship game. Bunch of players but that one, we're going to hear more about that as I think time comes out. Maybe we'll wait for Dane Brugler's Beast to read what he has to say in that, because I don't want to, point fingers, but there's some weird stuff going on with LSU in that one. But Jordan Addison, former Blitnikoff winner, transferred from Pitt to USC, fine player, did really well last year. Blitnikoff is the wide receiver award, correct?
Yeah, I didn't know you won that, especially last year when all those wide receivers were around.
He had NFL quarterback throwing him the ball on Kenny Pickett, which made a big difference for him at Pitt. But very good. I just don't think he's, no doubt, wide receiver 1. I don't think he's super duper dynamic, but he's a good wide receiver 2 guy, and he'll go probably middle back end of the first round.
Big Al, I'm going to answer this quicker. Too high for me at 8. That's basically what Nick said. Watching him makes me want Caleb Williams, not Jordan Addison.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way it is. It's like I'm watching this wide receiver and I'm like, oh man, I want that quarterback. The wide receiver was fine. He was okay. Should be a solid pro. Mm-hmm. Too high for me at 8. I'd look in a different direction. Back end of the first, maybe, depending on how he tests. Nothing showed to me the traits of a first round guy. When I was watching him, again, you want something that really stands out, whether it's size, speed, quickness, separation, all those things. He was good, but nothing was great, which doesn't scream first round and certainly doesn't scream top 10 for me.